Some people recharge outside, others recharge inside. Being a homebody is often dismissed as lazy, antisocial, or a flaw, but that label misses a hidden world of real psychology. For some, staying home is how their nervous system resets after too much stimulation. For others, it's a conscious choice tied to values, creativity, or simply what fits their personality best. What if the real question isn't why some people avoid going out, but why outside is the only option we have been taught to value? Three people spend their evenings at home, but the reasons couldn't be more different. Maya, a painter, closes her door to the world and lets the quiet deepen her focus. Her best ideas arrive in the hush of her studio, where colors and shapes speak louder than any conversation. Luis, a remote graphic designer, fine-tunes every detail of his workspace, including soft lighting, blackout curtains, and noise-canceling headphones. The outside world is a jumble of unpredictable sounds and bright lights, but here he can breathe and think clearly. Sarah and Tom, a minimalist couple, have shrunk their living space to what matters most. Home is where they share candlelit dinners, board games, and laughter, trading the rush of going out for the warmth of togetherness. Same behavior, different psychology. The act of staying home can mean recovery, creativity, or protection from overwhelm. It is not about being lazy or antisocial, and liking home does not mean you are broken. It might mean you are regulated. Home is where the brain stops scanning for threats and starts recovering. For some, it is a creative laboratory. For others, it is a sanctuary from noise. For many, it is a place to live out values, such as connection, simplicity, or even financial freedom. Do you stay home to recharge, to create, or to avoid overwhelm? If you want, I can do a follow-up on when a homebody pattern becomes avoidance, or how to socialize without draining yourself. Every brain manages energy differently. Some people walk into a crowded cafe and feel recharged, while others feel their batteries drain with every new voice and clatter of dishes. This is not about social skill. It is about how much stimulus you can handle before your mind needs a break. Scientists use the term energy economy to describe this. Introverts, for example, tend to have more theta brainwave activity after quiet time, an internal rhythm linked to deep focus and restoration. Extroverts, on the other hand, show higher beta 2 activity during lively social moments, a pattern tied to outward engagement and alertness. But it is not just about personality labels. Think of the world outside as a market with hidden costs, background noise, unpredictable crowds, small talk that never ends, and bright, flickering lights. Each one adds to your mental bill. For some, these costs are barely noticeable. For others, they pile up fast. That is why home can feel like an efficient refuge, a place where you control the volume, the lighting, even the pace of your day. Home is where the brain stops scanning for threats and starts recovering. Liking home does not mean you are broken. It might mean you are regulated. Same behavior, different psychology. Inside the walls of home, the body gets a chance to reset. When you choose to spend time in your own space, your heart rate variability, or HRV, actually rises. That's a sign your nervous system is shifting into recovery mode. Scientists have tracked this with wearable monitors and found a clear pattern. After a day filled with outside demands, HRV goes up when people settle into familiar, low-stress routines at home. The same goes for stress hormones like cortisol. On days when home time is voluntary, cortisol levels drop off more steeply by evening, signaling real physiological recovery. Liking home does not mean you are broken. It might mean you are regulated. Home is where the brain stops scanning for threats and starts recovering. If home feels like a safe place to recharge, you are not alone, and there is nothing wrong with needing that. Same behavior, different psychology. 5 personality traits often show up in people who prefer home: introversion, conscientiousness, lower novelty seeking, self-sufficiency, and a strong need for autonomy. But it's not just about who you are inside. The outside world has changed too. Foot traffic in cafes and other third places has dropped by nearly 60% since the 1990s, shrinking the spaces where people used to gather. At the same time, about 38% of adults now work remotely, making home the center of both work and leisure. Values play a role as well. Some stay home for minimalism, others for family, creativity, or health. Home is more than a fallback. It is often a deliberate choice, shaped by both personality and the world outside. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, do you stay home to recharge, to create, or to avoid overwhelm? Here's a quick self-check. First, look at how often you are home. If it is more than 60% of your free time, that is a sign to reflect, not a red flag. Next, notice the feeling. Does staying in bring calm or dread? Are your work, relationships, and health steady, or are they slipping? Pay attention to your body. Persistent tension, a racing heart, or trouble sleeping when you think about leaving home may be warning signs. Finally, ask if your motivation is renewal, comfort, or fear. Liking home does not mean you are broken. It might mean you are regulated. But if home becomes a cage, it might be anxiety, burnout, or depression. Same behavior, different psychology. If you want, I can do a follow-up on when a homebody pattern becomes avoidance, or on how to socialize without draining yourself. In a world where 35% of adults spend most leisure time at home, understanding why matters more than ever. Liking home doesn't mean you're broken. It might mean you're regulated.